Well, we were just saying, there's that famous saying that a draw is like kissing your sister. And I said, if your sister was Margot Robbie, does it make it feel a little bit better?
Still a draw is what you're saying.
Yeah, does it make it feel a little bit better?
Well, if your sister was Margot Robbie, I'd kiss a Fletch. It wouldn't stop me.
Yeah, I'm saying if your sister's Margot Robbie.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm from Cessnock, definitely wouldn't stop. Wouldn't hesitate.
We were talking earlier, Matthew, about alcohol, and because I went to the 18th birthday on Friday, the Texans' daughter, and I'm thinking there's going to be a couple of kids, they're ruined this weekend. They said, I'm never drinking A, I'm never drinking B. You said you're from Cessnock. Is there anything that you, growing up as an adult now, you just can't cop the smell or the taste of?
Fletch, couple. There is brown musket.
Yes.
We used to, the old brown musket. We used to get the flagon of brown musket and before the blue light discos and go up on the hill next to the church up there, up in the scrub, and just smash it. And the other one, Moselle, same reason. Blue light disco. Got on the charge with the Moselle. Thinking, mate, nothing's happening. No head spins, no nothing. And I polished off about half of the goon bag, and basically he was thrown out of the Blue Light Disco.
So if you smell it,
vomiting on the dance floor.
Oh, there's a song. Oh, it's Murder on the Dance
Floor. Yeah, I gave it to Sophie Ellis Baxter.
Vomit on the dance floor. Matthew, we were talking about last night about the Raiders versus Gold Coast game. Well, that was the last game before we went on air. What did you make of Ricky's and Desi's comments today?
Oh, mate, what about it? Into each other. Well, it was proven, wasn't it? It was proven that Desi was right, that Stewart was offside and it should have been a penalty to the Gold Coast. Geez, cold comfort for the Gold Coast, isn't that? What are they now? They're 0-5, aren't they? Because they've had a. So yeah, that's a tough one. Ethan, mate, what about? I tell you what, we're just talking about here with my two young blokes. What about Ethan Strange? The guts of that young bloke to have that dart down the left-hand side with only seconds left.
There was nothing doing. No. In and away, off he goes.
Geez, a good mover. He's got a beautiful left foot step. He terrific play, but they're going good. But yeah, I love it, the fact that Desi and Sticky are into each other. Sticky was in an irritable mood right throughout the game.
Well, Joel, my learned colleague over here, he seems to think the Titans can cause an upset.
I think they'll beat Manly. It's got a feeling. It's got a feeling, Matty.
Can you jump on? Can you jump on that bandwagon, Matthew?
I look. It wouldn't surprise me if they do. I mean, the Manly have come back. They've had the trip to New Zealand and back. You'd think they would have won that. 6 minutes to go, eight points up. Yeah, because I thought I had a feeling the Titans were going to win last night. I just thought, how many sides? Purely just on chance, how many sides start the season 0-6?
Yeah.
And they're a better side than that, so they are due. Well, it wouldn't surprise me, Joel.
Well, you got as you say, it's a long off-season not to get a win after 6 rounds. Yeah. They've already gone to New Zealand. They're back on the road again. There's a few outs. There's just enough excuse for them to somehow jag a win. I know it's boring chat, Matty, this Golden Point, but every time we have a Golden Point game, people are going to say, we've had enough of this field goal-a-thon. Yeah. What's your two bobs on it all?
Joel, in what form, I don't know, but I think it has to remain. I was just talking to a couple of radio show with Tony Kemp in New Zealand, and his counterpart said, I want to get rid of it completely. But when you're at the ground and the game goes into Golden Point where it's tied up at the end of 80 minutes, a real buzz goes through the stadium. Look, at the end of the day, the rugby league purist says there's nothing wrong with the draw, but we're in the entertainment industry. Yeah. And it's entertaining. I'll say this, I probably would prefer if you have to accumulate 4 points to win.
Yes. What do
you mean by that?
Yeah, golden try. Accumulate 4 points.
I think are you saying I could kick 4 field goals?
Or 2 penalty goals?
4 field goals. If you can kick 4 field goals, but what it is if you can kick 2 penalty goals, if you accumulate 4 points, then you win. Whether it be a try or the opposition is cheating and standing offside continually, and you go, goal.
Or Matthew, what about half an 8-point try? Does that get me over the line?
That does. Yeah, it does. Yes. You're home.
Mate, you know what? Sorry, go on.
No, but then again, you think about golden try. there's a fair chance it's going to end up a draw.
Exactly.
Most games.
Well, this is the thing, right? So I'm in the golden try camp as well.
Yeah.
But the thing that kills it is that we've got 2 5-minute periods that start with a kickoff. So it takes you 3 sets to go end to end, and that's your 5 minutes nearly done, right? So if you wanted to go golden try, you'd have to do something funky like you tap off from the halfway line. You
do, Joel. You just go, righto, toss the coin, which way do you want to run?
Yep.
And just go 10 minutes straight.
10 minutes straight, exactly right. The 2 kickoffs kill the try idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I love the drop-off. I love that. Remember we tried it in the nines?
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
Yeah, I love it. I reckon, Fletch, yeah, definitely. Every minute, someone hops off the field and you just keep playing until there's a try scored.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
And then bring the Lions on the field.
That's
right. Lions versus Christians.
That's right.
Oh, God, I wish I was a gladiator. Hey, Matthew, I've got a question for you. I was speaking to Brandon Smith on Saturday, and he told me that your son, Cooper, and him don't really go to pubs. They love going to house parties. And I said, that's good. But they don't know them. They just walk around the streets knocking on doors when they hear music. Is that safe? I mean, for the people letting those two in.
I was going to say. Safe for the hosts. Yeah, they funny young blokes these days, right, boys? They just, sort of, I suppose, a different age. You know, like fellas when we were growing up, you'd never ever discuss emotions, or you'd never spill your heart out to your mate. No. It was like a big, unless you'd be on the sauce and you wake up the next day and go, oh, what did I say?
Yeah. Or kiss your sister.
Honestly, I don't do it.
I don't be doing that.
And, but mate, I was here the other day anyway. I'm walking past Cooper's room and he goes, yeah, mate, love you too. Love you. And I thought, oh, God, he must have a girlfriend or something. And it was Brandon.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? Ooh. And I thought, okay, just go with it. But can you imagine? Can you imagine back in our day?
Oh.
Like times have changed. I get that, but
I saw footage of at Coachella Justin Bieber kissing. Who was it? It was Will Smith's son.
Pashing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And they're not gay, but that's the way they'll greet. They greet each other.
Well, it's funny. The thing that surprised me about Cooper and that is just how open people are these days with their emotions. Like I got good mates when I was growing up, and of course I loved them. They were great mates. But to actually put yourself out on a limb and me say to a mate in Cessnock, and he says, "Anyway, Matty, I'll see you tomorrow." So yeah, see you tomorrow. Hey, lads. Love you, mate. Yeah. You go, what the hell?
What about if they didn't say I love you too on the way back? You'd have to go.
Yeah, that's always awkward.
You have to go
out to the girlfriends. I think I love you. And they go, oh, that's interesting.
Matthew, let's talk about rugby league.
Yes, sir.
We were sort of talking about a little bit last night with Joey Manu and the Tedesco conundrum.
Yes.
Sugar wants the hybrid. So he wants 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Of swapping.
Yeah.
So Tedesco and Manu just to swap positions.
The reason being, it's such a big job fullback, and it just gets Joey in the game. The great West Indies cricket team back in the day,
we go.
Their best bowling attack, different shapes and sizes.
Malcolm Marshall.
You couldn't get comfortable with them. Imagine Joey coming at you, Teddy's coming at you.
Yeah, Curtly Ambrose coming from
Well, do you know, I actually just interviewed Madge with the podcast, right? And we're talking about Joey Manu, and he was just saying, mate, his best position is obviously fullback, but I maintain, Sugar, you might be onto something there, because the amount of work that Joey Manu does when he's at fullback, I don't know whether you could put him there full time. I just, I just think he, 30 runs and nearly 400 metres. Every time he plays fullback, he's over 300 metres. He's just relentless. He doesn't stop. Maybe he has got the fitness to be able to do it, but I don't know.
I reckon his best asset.
Burn out.
Yeah, I reckon his best asset is he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Brian.
The reason why he's so good at fullback is he doesn't know. He has no plan.
But if you had him, and however you break it up, playing half an hour a game at fullback, surely you get, as a composite fullback, you get a better outcome than having one there every week.
Yeah, I'm just thinking he sort of gets into the game. If you're going to play him at fullback, I think he's got to play fullback.
Yeah. Do you know what, Fletch? And you're spot on. I reckon that was the big difference with the Roosters. is that Joey Manu plays so much off the top of his head and so reactive, and a lot of times, he just calls the ball. He doesn't know if there's anything on, but just goes and takes him on with his natural talent and pokes his nose through it. And then Brandon, that's the best game Brandon's played for a couple of seasons, a couple of years because of Manu poking his nose through. And the other thing about it, why Manu has such a big impact there and why he was so good, is that we're in the age of hyperstructure all the time, and teams defend as a collective, and a defence line wants to defend as a collective. It's a lot easier. But if a bloke like Joey Manu just gets the ball, and you see it with Munster and Jerome Hughes, just picks one bloke and just takes him on one-on-one, you're isolating blokes, and the team is not defending as a collective. So a lot of times, you need principles and you need structure to fall back on. But sometimes it's so underrated. A player with speed and footwork just getting the ball and just attacking a bigger bloke just straight and direct. And I know the big blokes hate it.
I was chatting to Titsy Holbrook yesterday, Justin Holbrook, and he was saying, the remarkable thing about Joey Manu, he said he churns out the 300 metres, 400 metres, but he's not a bloke who's ever won the 800s or the fitness drills. It's just never. But when he gets onto the field, the competitor in him.
Justin Hodges.
Yeah.
Justin Hodges.
Was he the same?
Was the weakest in the gym I've ever seen.
Really?
We used to do the bench, and he would be lucky to press 60. I said, "You're G'ing up, Hodjo." He goes, "Mate, I can't." But then trying to tackle him, it's just some players are footy strong.
Yep.
Some aren't in the gym.
So
I was both. I was both.
Yeah.
I was both. I'm going to do push-ups now.
Hey,
Push-up
Matty,
challenge.
Hypothetically, right? So, and Brandon Smith played out of his skin, but as they go forward, he needs that rolling bowler, and he's often racing from dummy half. Hypothetically, you knew the Roosters had won the comp. What was the back line looking like in the key positions?
Look, Tedesco will be there, Joel.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He'll be fullback. He'll go into it. It would be trying to look, and Fletch spoke about this last night, and I totally agree. If Joey Manu is not going to play fullback, then he plays on the wing. You've got so much more ability to float in and out of the game like Manu does, and just investigate on the wing as opposed to centre. And I think that's where you play him. That's if you're not going to play him full, but that's where you play him. Look, it's funny if you just basically arrived at Roosters training and sat there and just said, "Righto, pick me the best side," and you had no idea about the personalities and the players and everything, you probably would pick Manu at fullback. But just what Teddy's done over a long time, he's the skipper of the club, so on and so forth. It'll be a big decision from Trent Robinson, and look, it's one that he won't make.
No.
But I like what you're saying, Fletch, because a bit like the Panther model, if you've got Teddy carrying it and you've got Tupu carrying it, and you've got Joey Manu who's got a bit more licence to leave that side bump around, that brings Brandon Smith, that brings Spencer Leniu when he comes back. And I know I use the term rolling bowler, but they're often racing, aren't they?
Well, and Keary played better.
Yeah.
It helped Keary's game.
I tell you who it would help. It'd help Sam Walker.
Yep.
Yes.
Going off the top of your head, sort of. It's a bit confusing. You don't know what you're doing. Quick play the balls, let him go. That's his bread and butter.
100%.
And do you know, boys, I think it takes sometimes a lot of discipline to keep playing simple. Right? To have a successful formula, and like the Roosters played so much more simple the other night against the Knights. Now it's a discipline for Trent Robinson and his coaching staff to go to training this week and keep it simple, if you know what I mean. I think the enemy sometimes of teams, when they've got a winning formula, is ball work. Going in and then going about your attacking sequences and ball work and everything sort of pushes you back towards structured football. Where the Roosters this year have played their best football when there's been probably the majority off the top of their heads.
Yep. I reckon if you broke up every try in the NRL, most of it is not contrived.
No.
Most of it is a little bit of chaos. But just back on the Joey Manu thing, the best example's Zac Lomax.
Yeah.
Like the Dragons are getting a stack more out of him on the ding-a-ling than what they get out of centre, isn't it?
I don't know if Jack's just got a sort of traditional way of thinking, or he's come through as a fullback. As a centre, and he just goes no, and he definitely feels in himself that playing on the wing is a demotion.
Yeah, stigma.
He must.
I think it's a young...
Could not be further from the truth.
That's right. But I think it's, you know what I reckon it is? Number on his back.
Yeah.
That's what I honestly believe.
Well, mate, pick whichever number you want out of 13,
but
Jack.
So I've played with some players who wouldn't wear a different number.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's superstition or what. Stevie Wonder.
But, like, if you look at, like, Zac, this puts a bit of, like, going to another club. When you sit down to go to another club and you speak to the coach who's trying to lure you to that club, right, and say, come on, you don't really get the true indication of the coach. Right, Brad Arthur's probably said to him, mate, you come to this team, you're going to play centre. But then what happens if Zac goes there and he's struggling at centre? And all of a sudden, Brad Arthur goes, geez, I tell you what he was doing for Flano last year on the wing, I might have to put him there. Then what does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's cost himself $150,000.
Yeah, but what else? What happens if like, it's a 4-year deal? What if
Yeah.
Brad's not there for 4 years?
Yeah.
And
That's-
you know,
What if Flano signs it? Oh, that'd be yuck.
Oh, imagine
and then
that.
Brad goes to the track.
Oh, and you'd have to go and have dinner with him again.
I'm screaming skull.
Oh dear. Hey, Matty, we've got the Masters on here, and a lot of people say, that's the bucket list. I want to go to the Masters. And
I do.
what is that your one?
Definitely now.
What's yours, Matty? What sporting event do you need to go to?
Not the Masters.
It'd be something weird in like Siberia or something.
Mate, he'd be running the Bulls in Pamplona or something, wouldn't you?
No, he doesn't
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I'd love to watch people do it. I would. I think I would love to go to Barcelona, Real Madrid. I'd like that. Or I've never been to like a Liverpool Everton game, a Merseyside derby be good as well.
Blue or red.
I was listening. Speaking
Yeah,
of
mate.
your podcast recommendation, Matty, Simon Jordan up front. So I listened to the Robbie Fowler, then I listened to Stuart Broad, and then I listened to the Michael Owen. He is an odd character. Far
He's
out.
an odd cat, isn't he?
They're all on themselves,
Yeah.
these soccer players. On themselves.
I know.
There is no modesty in any of them.
So Simon Jordan is what? He was
a journo, and then he became an owner of Crystal Palace. And now he just does these podcasts and stuff. But he's a very good interviewer. He sucks information.
He's very good. He's just, mate, he really puts him on the spot. I'll tell you something, we're talking about Liverpool there. Here's a bit of something for you boys. I think it's American, film company is in Newcastle at the moment doing a special on like a documentary movie on Craig Johnston and the invention of the Predator boot.
Wow.
Oh, that's right, because he invented that, didn't he?
Yeah. How did he come up? What made him think about that?
Right up. So when he came back, he was playing. How long we got here? We've got about 3 minutes, boys.
Yeah, got a couple, 2 minutes.
Tourists, we've got a couple of minutes, right. So what he was, he was playing for Liverpool, and his sister's husband, he went missing in Morocco, and she went over there to investigate and try to find him, and there was a gas leak in her hotel. Anyway, she fell and collapsed and has remained since in a really bad way and needed full-time care. So he came back to Australia, and he was coaching a local side in the Northern Beaches at Avalon. Anyway, he was teaching the kids how to bend a soccer ball, right? I hit it a certain way and it bends. Anyway, it was raining this particular day, and one of these young kids said, Mr. Johnson, when it's wet, the ball you can't bend the ball. And he had immediately had this epiphany, said to someone, Coach, take over this, drove straight to a sports store, got 2 ping pong rackets, tore the rubber off it, put it on the boots, and went straight to a field and started bending it. And went, my God. So then took it to Adidas. Adidas knocked him back. He bought a camcorder and took it to all the best players in the world, filmed them with the boots, and Franz Beckenbauer, the great German, said, this will change soccer forever. And then went back to Adidas and they signed a big deal.
Wow.
And left him out.
Eventually, they didn't look after him, screwed him a little bit. But he tells a story. The first player ever to wear them were Paul Ince when he was playing for Man United. And he's in a shopping centre. Anyway, a bloke yells out, he says to someone in the shopping centre, what's the score? And he said, mate, 1-0 Man United. And he goes, who scored? And he said, Paul Ince. He said, you're kidding. He ran to a television, he scored with a header.
Oh, that was a letdown.
Oh, that's
That's like kissing your sister.
Yeah.
Real letdown.
Matty, great stuff. Outstanding.
Margot, Robbie.
Outstanding.
Righto, boys.
Righto, mate.
See you, mate.
That's just brilliant.
See you, lads.